Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, getting started with Exeter. That's today's show. Before we begin, I'd like to thank One Football app for sponsoring the show. Fantastic app. If you are keen on finding out more football news, they've got seriously, they've got videos I can't watch in Eurosport Zone. Definitely go take a look at the app. Download links are below for iPhone and Android. Exeter City are a fantastic club. This is going to be a very, very challenging and interesting save. Exeter City has some history behind them. Unfortunately for them, it does not extend towards winning Premiership titles and European League titles. They ding-donged a bit between the leagues, and they tasted conference for a while. And, they went up to League One, then they got relegated. They've been in League Two ever since. The club was founded in 1904. It's been around for a while, and there's lots of interesting stories about Exeter City. You should just go and read up on this club. Now, the first thing I do whenever I go to any club, finances. What do we have? 75,000 wage budget. Obviously, nothing we can do there. Wage budget 35, room to play 31, 4K. Still not a lot. Scouting budget 39, but scouting budget we can't really mess with that, because if you look at the club scouting wise, scouting budget of 39K. If you look at the you click on this, you'll discover they start off with Sky Bet League 2. I actually dropped them to no package. There's no point. I don't really believe in youth development in League 2, League 1. I only start in Championship because there's no real point. There is not going to be much room for you to develop your players, right? So you're gonna hope for the best. So I really don't. I cover only players known to the club staff, and that should be enough. Then we're looking at Sky Bet League 1, because we want players who can fit into the first team and start playing. This is 30.5, and you look at that, your total is 39.5. Your scouting budget is gonna just get wiped out. So we have only 2 members. There's no need to expand on that. You have 2 scouts. One should scout our position. One should get you an analyst report. So we have in the recruitment team 1 scout and a chief data analyst. Done. There's no need to do anything after that. In terms of responsibilities, what would I do? Well, if it was my responsibilities, I'll probably take over myself, and then I'll just issue the 2 assignments, and then it's really simple. You go to your preferences, set it up. I set it up for minimum of 70%. That means they have to be really good for them to be recommended to me. 2 weeks, 50 entries, 1 month, 20 entries outside the transfer window. Then what you do next is you go to your player search and have an attribute set up, filter set up. Here I've set it up in such a way that I'm only interested in free signings, because realistically speaking, that's the only thing Exeter can afford. If we need players, that's how we'll do it. And you could do more. In fact, you could, let me see if I have one here. I think I do. Oh, it's not valid for this current panel. Never mind. You can actually come in here and set the last club the guys played for. You customize this, right? So I like to see 2 things when I'm looking at players. I like to know what was the last club they played for. Okay, this will tell me who they played for, and on top of that, certain attributes like mentals. I want to know positioning, off the ball. Positioning, work rate, and off the ball. We got off the ball and positioning and work rate. So we got that, and maybe even physical attributes like acceleration. Okay, so these are the 4 attributes. We can just sort this one out, and bang, we've got some range here. We should be able to look at the players and get a better view. You can even have one more, which is the scouting, the knowledge level of the player, from the scout, and also the scouting recommendation. You can pop all of that information into a nice scouting overview. You get a very nice scouting overview, and that's it. It's pretty brilliant. Then from this alone, I'll be able to determine whether I want to bring the players in. Naturally, there's one more area that you should one more attribute that you should include is determination. And then I think it's called a knowledge level. Let's see if it's here. Knowledge level and scouting recommendation. Well, we'll leave that for now. We've got most of the information here now. Boom. Okay, that's it. I'll put knowledge level here. Just beside this will give me a good idea of the knowledge level of all these players and whether there's enough information. Like here, 47% will give me a pretty good idea of what some of the attributes are. 11 positioning. That's it. You see how fast it is? You don't even need to go and scout this player. You know whether or not you want to use him. Acceleration 1 to 5 is out. You don't even have to scout him. I don't even need to go and figure things out. So this is really easy. Okay, that's done. We've sorted that one out. Now let's look at training. Training should be very simple. You should set it a pre-season here. I yanked the scheduling all the way to the left. No rest day. Set it up to match tactics depending. If I've got a lot of players, maybe team cohesion. But balance should be high. And let's look at the schedule then. Schedule, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 friendlies only, not good enough. We want 8 friendlies, right? Minimum of 8. So we've got 1 friendly here. Season starts here. So we've got space for 1 friendly here, 1 friendly here, and 1 friendly here. So we'll choose, you go inside here and then you choose like a tour or multiple friendly matches. Click on the dates. Here we click on this date. There's enough of a break there. We'll click on this date. 1, 2, 3. And we'll choose very small reputation teams. Doesn't really matter. And that's done. That's good. We got enough friendlies sorted. You need what? You need something like 8 friendlies. The reason why I have 8 friendlies is because we're going to bring a lot of players through on trial as well. So we need to see how they play in games and how our tactics, how the tactics get sorted. Okay, now we come to the next part, team report. Let's look at the squad depth. Very easy. So here I am on the squad depth. We got a 4-4-2 up there, and I want to know. Okay, fine. If I wanted to play with a DM based system, so we go to DM narrow. How many players do I have? Jordan Tilson. We only have 1 DM. And he's doesn't even look that good. So how do you know more? Come in here, you can see the attributes, or you can see the attributes here. So it's really fast. So we got a defensive midfielder. Okay, acceleration 9 seems a bit slow because remember this, in conference I'm looking at getting players. I need 10. Right, in conference 10 to 11 for us to be competitive to get promoted. So we can't be 10 to 11 in League 2. It's got to be at least 12. Let me confirm this. Let's go to comparison then. Bang, 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 boom. We go to mentals first. Defenders. We're looking at positioning. What's the number that I need to beat? 12. Okay. What about so we've got mentals that we need them to get 12 to beat that number. Then what about technicals? All right. Then we look at physicals. What is the number they have to beat? We're looking at acceleration 12. Okay, not looking good now. All right. So what about technicals? Now we're talking about tackling, marking, and all the hard stuff. Okay, we got 12 and 12. 13 for tackling. All right. Jumping reach. Oh, this is getting interesting. Physicals, jumping reach. Ding, 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 ding. Jumping reach is 13. Holy guacamole. So we know there's a rough. Those are the attributes that I need to hit for my defenders. And for them to be good in the air, we need jumping. For them to be fast, we need about 12. And then for positioning, we need like 12. So it's between 12 to 13. That's what we're looking at, numbers to beat. So that's the league comparison done. So it's really simple, really fast. So let's go into the squad. Now we're looking at the squad and we are planning we won't need to see how our defenders do. So we don't need to see the whole club. All we need to do is just zoom in on the defenders and we look at positioning. Remember the number was 12. So central defenders, we've got P.S. Swerny, Luke Kroll, Troy Brown, 12, 12, 12. But in terms of anticipation and concentration, they're well below average. So some concern here. In terms of positioning, they may seem okay. Like 11 is already below average, right? So this is a bit slower than the rest of the league is probably going to run past them. Determination, we've got 13. We've got 12 and 14. That's not too bad. We've got one guy here, Luke Kroll, who apparently must be spending more time at the pub than he does, trying to chase down a player. Okay, so bravery, strength, acceleration. Yeah, well, apparently he's quite slow too. 9 and 8 and 9. So we got a very slow defense, and I mean slow. We got 12 and 12. So Jordan Moore Taylor and Troy Archibald. While they are pretty fast out of the gate, right? 12 and 12. Positioning not too fantastic. Troy Archibald, hand wheels, positioning is very poor. Anticipation and concentration. How old is this chap? Well, the good news is only a backup. But the first team players are here. These are the 2 first team players. So these are Luke Kroll. He may be a first team player, but seriously, I don't think he's not running after the first beer. If it's happy hour, he's not going to be there first. The rest of the team is going to get there first. So, not my kind of player. Jordan Moore Taylor, a bit, yeah, he's a bit better, but positioning 11, so it's very average. It's not the best in the land. Then when it comes to the actual business of actually doing it, 11. The defenders here have serious problems. Serious problems. So I think the first thing you got to do with this club, go out there, find a defender. Because the jumping reach is 14-13 is okay, but seriously, we need to get one defender who actually knows what he's doing. So these defenders at the back, they need help. So immediately I know if I wanted to play a 4-3-1-2, it'd be suicidal. I probably wouldn't even want to play a 4-4-2 with this team. I have to play, whatever it is, we hamstrung into playing a system that has to have a DM. All right, so let's look at the defensive midfielders. Not too many defensive midfielders in this team. We got Jordan Tilson and Craig Woodman. Basically, we only got one defensive midfielder. So this defensive midfielder, his name is Jordan Tilson. Again, pretty slow positioning, very average. So second thing that we need to do, we need to look at players like. Basically, luckily the salaries are only 500 per week, and we're only paying them for one season. Okay, so we need a central defender. We also need a defensive midfielder. There's two players that we need. Okay, at least two defensive midfielders. Okay, bad news. Brown is hitting us really hard at the moment. Okay, we can kiss the central midfielders goodbye when it comes to helping the defenders out, because they don't know. They don't want anything to do with defense. Jake Taylor, positioning 8. Okay, we got Carl Edwards on loan, Kane Wilson on loan. Really? Are they away from the club on loan from West Brom? Really? This is what West Brom can offer us? Okay. All right. Lloyd James, 10-12. Okay, looks like he can bring something to the team from an attacking sense, and well, he might be able to pitch in with a challenge once in a while, but seriously, again, question marks about him. Rotation player, but who the hell is this player? Hiram Boateng, he's a key player, 21 years old. Passing 13, 11 tackling. Okay, acceleration a bit slow. Okay, what would we do with this player? Hiram Boateng is a really simple solution. If I see him, the first thing I do, quick focus, you learn how to be quick. That's it. Then we give him central midfielder training. It covers a few of the areas. We give him an intensity level of heavy and let him go break a leg, because we want him to start improving. Okay, so Hiram Boateng, he has to play. He's got potential. So now we know we got one MC who can pass the ball, who's got decent decisions. Maybe a bit slow, but that's what we're going to work on for the rest of his natural life. So as long as he's in our club, he does quickness 24/7 whenever he's training. Extra focus. We want those physical numbers to go up. Okay. So we know that the central midfielders, all of them, basically are just average when it comes to defending. No, they're not even average. Only one of them is average. The rest of the team, off the ball, well, okay, they bring something to the table in terms of attack. But Jake Taylor, Ryan Harley, wow. Okay. If you're taking this club for the first season, it's survival mode, because you're gonna have to avoid relegation. I see this club. Let's look at the odds on this club. I'm just looking at the players. Mid-table side 25-1. Wow, you can actually get promoted with these boys. This will be interesting. I'm looking at these players and thinking I'm going to try and avoid relegation, but there's high hopes for this club. Okay, what about in terms of the guys? Here we go. We're looking at the attacking midfielders. What do we have here? Off the ball, 12, 11. We have a few players that can cross. We have Jake Taylor, who should be playing most of the games, because set pieces he can deliver. Carl Edwards is on loan. This is something I hate. I hate using loan players when I want to get promoted. Yes, you can get promoted with loan players, but they don't add anything to development, right? So if I'm not going to use him, we'll just abuse him and send him home. Here we have a fantastic, I like Lee Holmes actually. Lee Holmes brings a lot of attacking flair to the team. Not very fast. He's not going to break out and give you something. He can cross and dribble. Probably he needs to be further forward, but he can't he can't go on support duty and just beat somebody with acceleration. His acceleration is 11, so he literally has to be waiting there and for us to play a game suited for Lee Holmes, fast. He has to be there already, so the ball gets to him and just crosses. So he does like hit early crosses as well. So players like this, while they're okay, oh boy, right. There's a lot of work to be done with this team. So what do we do with this club? Okay, it's strikers. I see key players. Nowadays when I see key players, I get very worried. Okay, Jaden Stockley is a key player. 12 and 14, okay, fine. Off the ball, 14, okay. The good news is he can play in a few roles. He can be a centre forward. He can be a poacher. He can be a deep line forward. Maybe not an false nine, but definitely in a row. I want to play again a 3. With this kind of team, I'm only looking at playing either the 4-1-2-2-1, the 4-1-3-2, yeah, or the 4-1-4-1, which is really hoping. But it all depends on the players that we have. We've got Robbie Simpson here as well. Now this is a very familiar name, but he's already getting old, so we could send him to the pasture. We could send him out to the pasture. Yeah, we could just send him out. But Robbie Simpson, Ruben Reid. Well, some of these players are pretty interesting. Like Ruben Reid, for example, he does seem like a pretty good player to play off Jaden Stockley. So Ruben Reid can play with Jaden Stockley as a start. And then we got Matt J here. But then the bench doesn't bring there's not a lot of value coming from the bench. So what can we do with this club? This club requires we need defenders firstly. So we need one defender, and we need a defensive midfielder. Yeah, we'll get one more defender and a defensive midfielder. This is what the club needs. So between now and the pre-season, that's what you should be doing with this club, getting a defender and a defensive midfielder. The job is to narrow this database that we have, which isn't a lot. So we got a striker we want to find. So I'm looking for acceleration, balance, off the ball, and composure. I mean, these are the attributes I'm interested in for the striker to have, because I'm looking for options in front, and then we'll see what else they bring to the table. So we've got a few here that seem to be okay. So what we've done is we shortlisted 4 of them and invited them to the club for further assessment. Now at the back, for the back line, I'm looking at positioning, jumping reach, because we know that's the area that we are weak. So we got like jumping reach, I want about 15. Positioning, I want at least 14. And we have all these. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer and offer them trial. So these are all the defenders that are coming for trial. It's really simple. I'm just narrowing it down based on what I need. I need a defender, central defender. Jumping reach has got to be 15 and positioning has got to be 14. We worry about the rest of the attributes when they show up, because I need those attributes I need these attributes at least, because we need them to be solid in the air. Okay, what about the center? Then we got defensive midfielders right over here. So we don't need defensive. We don't need them to be. We need decent defensive midfielders. So I'm going to give them 13 for positioning. And let's pick another attribute. Let's look at work rate and make sure that the work rate is 12. And we'll pick and add in determination and make sure that determination is about, okay, so positioning is about 12, work rate and determination 12, and we've got two chaps that are looking a bit interesting, Michael Brown as well as Jack Finch. Man, goodness, I probably signed Jack Finch because of his name alone, because it sounds so cool. Hi, my name is Jack Finch. Sounds a lot more exciting than Michael Brown. Michael Brown sounds like a DJ. Hi, I'm Mike Brown. But look at his aggression, 19. I probably wouldn't sign. His acceleration is only 5. Jack Finch, on the other hand, yeah. But Michael Brown has got phenomenal aggression. It scares the living daylights out of me. So maybe we want to bring down determination. We go with 12 for work rate and positioning of 11. Beggars can't be choosers, so we got a few more, and we shall transfer, offer them all trial. Hey, Ash Maddox looks familiar. He actually is playing for my Kingstonian team. All right, this time we got other players here. Okay, so we added this. So this is how I would set up my scouting. So I'm looking for a central defender. I'm looking for a defensive midfielder. I'm also looking for a striker up top. So all that is done. We invited them all to trial. Now all these players are going to join the club, and then between now and the rest of the season, what we do is we assess these players. How am I going to find out who's good enough? We got all these players coming in on trial. Well, we're going to have 3 different tactics. I'm going to use a 4-1-3-2, a 4-1-4, and a 4-4-2. I'm going to try all these tactics out, and I'm going to see how the boys do in preseason, and that's going to be the foundation on which we're going to move forward. When it comes to LLM football, and Exeter City for me is LLM football, I'm religious about preseason because I'm going to have to strengthen my squad. Now, I've got a lot of players that have been brought in on trial. And every trial player is stuck into the under-23 squad. So this does not mess the preseason for the senior squad. But then you're going to have this drama going on in your head. I mean, you got so many players coming in, right? How the heck do you go through them and decide who's going to be in your main team? Very simple. There are 2 ways I do this. I have the fast way and the slow way. Okay, the slow way is I go through every single position meticulously. Now the fast way is I depend on the S-man. Right? Seriously, I do. So you choose your formation. You've got a few. I've got a few here. So I got 4-1-3-2 set to custom roles. Okay, current custom roles which are in the tactic itself. So I got deep line forward, advanced forward. You see all of these coming up. Right, and or you could just go currently selected for the role in the tactic. So we got all these roles. I'm using Carrerello, advanced playmaker, so they're all there. Brilliant, sweet ass. Make sure that make sure when you come here, we've got players in the under 23 squad. Do not hide trials, leave them up. Okay, so we've got all of them here, and don't hide unavailable. All right, now we look through the list, we find, wow, suddenly I have a right back that's better than everybody else. You click on this and you can compare. All right, so why is this guy suddenly better than the rest? Now he's 10, he's not that bad. He definitely gives us options as a DM as well. The only other player is Kane Wilson. He's on loan. Acceleration very good. Tackling just average. Positioning, blah. And then we got Luke Booker. Look at this. We got 3 trialies who all are better than what I have currently, because I don't really have a right back. They got Lloyd James, who's a midfielder, and Ryan O'Reilly. So immediately, as far as wingbacks are concerned, if I want to bomb up and down the flanks, this is what these are the players that we have. If I go for best role, I'll see this, but I like to go for currently selected roles in the tactic because those are the roles I'm looking to use. This way, I immediately know, okay, there are certain players that I want to track during preseason. One of them is Michael Brown. He's, my assistant manager says he's worth taking a look at. And then we got Will Packwood, Luke Booker, and in goal we've got Christy Pym and Billy O'Brien. This is really interesting. And here we got Liam McAllinden and Jaden Scott Stockley, and we're looking in terms of strikers. We've got so many players coming in on trial. Well, these guys may not be good enough for the 4-1-3-2. Then I'm looking at my 4-4-2. Now, if I go to my 4-4-2, immediately it's still only 2 players. Michael Brown, Will Packwood, Luke Booker, Billy O'Brien is another goalkeeper, and I got one more striker now, Michael Cregan. But look at this, he's not as good as the rest. Once again, you go in here and you check out his attributes. Okay, all his attributes we don't see all his attributes. We can give him some time some time still, because it's really interesting because they rate him very highly. Then we look at his potential ability. Look at that, he has 2 black stars. So this is pretty, again, interesting. So it's really simple. So this is how I do it, right? There's no rocket science to it. I go to 4-1-4, again the same thing. Okay, this is the quick and dirty way of doing it. The other quick and dirty way of doing it is you go to tactics and you go like, okay, you check under 23 squad, quick pick. I mean, this is preseason. I want to see how these players do, and it gives me a chance to assess them as we go. Now, of course, Boateng is injured. There's no point trying somebody out who's gonna probably break a leg. Boateng, 21 years old. Hiram Boateng, honestly, it's not that bad. The assistant manager doesn't make really bad decisions. If you really wanted to make this game really hard for yourself, then generally you go through the game and you want to be. You want to be very specific about what the players you're looking for. Then you're probably gonna have to do this the old-fashioned, the way I do it sometimes. If you got lots of time on your hands, but if I don't have lots of time in my hands, then I go like, okay, fine. What do I need? Positioning, anticipation, concentration, tackling. Okay, that's cool. That's a CMD. All right. So then I go positioning. Then you go to the squad, and then you do it the long ass way. Right. This is the long ass way. Positioning. Anticipation, concentration, bravery, tackling, jumping, it looking like this. Well, that's one way. But in preseason, you don't really have that much time, right? You're gonna have to make a decision eventually. So, I have 3 tactics I think that I want to be able to use because, okay, first up, lower league football, right? Let's face it. If you have 2 strikers, it's better than 1. I tell you, it's very simple. The logic is very simple in my head. During a breakaway, 2 guys is better than 1. At least between these 2 guys, they can probably work something. Most of the league is probably going to attack us. I get 2 strikers breaking away. Chances are we might be able to score. 4-4-2 gives me a chance in preseason to see how, if we can't beat average sides with a 4-4-2, then. But if we can do well with the 4-4-2, I'm thinking to myself, maybe you can try something else. But this is one option. I just want to see. This is a pretty balanced 4-4-2. That is not particularly attacking. Well, fullback on the one side, and we got a winger on the other. We got a DLF and a poacher. Then I've got my 4-1-3-2, which is a bit more of a counter-attacking tactic, control play on control structure, where I sit back. I hope to ping balls behind, defensive lines. My AF is just attacking into space with the DLF looking for passes, and these 2 guys looking to make passes. These 2 guys looking to make passes. Yeah, plenty of action going on here. And then a 4-1-4-1 DM, a very basic tactic. Here I probably use this guy on support, and not here. We haven't even tried this tactic out yet. So I'm just toying and looking at my players and wondering, what can they bring to the table? Can we try different things with them? And this is all I do in preseason. My preseasons are just about finding out what we can do. But I've got 2 tactics. I'm looking at the 4-1-3-2, the 4-4-2, maybe even the 4-1-4-1. Our preseason hasn't been bad, but this is how I approach preseason. By the time my preseason is done, I will have already discovered who's who's half decent in our tactic. Now, as far as I can tell at the moment, Liam McAlinden is going to be playing for us as a striker. He's really good. Dion Moore, I tried him in preseason, not that fantastic. We got him on low, we're trialing him at the moment. Then there's one player that's really piqued my interest, and this is Will Packwood. He's a defender. He's an American. Attributes all in the right places. Definitely worth looking at. We're gonna sign him. If I was playing this game, I'd sign him. Jack Finch. The only reason why I said Jack Finch is because I remember him from my Kingstonian days. He actually played for me in the Kingstonian. This is sentimental. I saw him again in this game. I went, oh, this is a very familiar player, and I believe he'll come good. That's based on the save I did like a season ago or 2. So that's like really hoping. Okay. Then I've got Akil Rahman. If I had him, the determination very low. I'm not too sure. But here I would be trying them out in preseason. I'll have a few more games and then I'll decide. By the time I hit like QPR, for example. No, I won't be QPR. By the time I hit Dorchester here, at this point, 22nd of July, I will have decided who are the players who are coming to this club. We know we need a defender. We know you need a defensive midfielder. We know that we might need a goalkeeper and maybe one more striker. So this is what I'm looking for to add to the club. And if we can add this to the club, then we've got options. This team needs a defensive midfielder. They also need maybe another bone crunch. They need basically two midfielders who can deliver some tackles and keep the ball moving between midfield and attack. And if they're gonna do well, then get them to play a 4-1-3-2. Any two striker system, they'll probably be able to outperform. So that's what we do in preseason. We try players out, and then this is how I would get started with Exeter City. It's not that hard, but it requires you to either have. You need a plan. There's no two ways about it. You got to go into preseason with a plan. If you don't go into preseason with a plan, then you're going to struggle. LLM saves are actually very easy, in my opinion. If you have a very solid plan in place, that you look at a place, because my tactics are like this. I have a wide tactic, I have a narrow tactic, right? The logic is very simple. In some games I need to open sides up. Maybe I'm going to go to a wide tactic. In some games I'm looking to defend. I'm looking to pack the middle so that these teams that are better than me, they can't weave something through the middle. Then the moment they lose the ball there, then I can hit them on the break. So the 4-1-3-2 comes into play. Then it's a question of what other tactics can fit into the Exeter system. So if you come up with a plan and you go into, when you trial players and then you look for players to give you some strength, then you'll be fine. Here, once again, the team report, if you look at that, lack quality depth at right back beyond Kane Wilson, and he's on loan. See, in the left wing beyond Lee Holmes. Lee Holmes is a good player, but he's a winger, and there's no other player besides him. He gets injured, you got no plan B. Lack quality depth in defensive midfielder beyond Jordan Tilson. We're looking at this guy, defensive midfield. He's not bad, but we need more players there. We need more than one Jordan Tilson. And that's it. You see, it's this. I haven't even read this, but we can see right now they have weaknesses, and if you can go out there and you can get some of these players in on loans, on trial, then you are going to be in a very, very strong position when you start the season. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Getting Started with Exeter series, and I hope it's given you some food for thought going forward. If this is one of the clubs that you decide to pick for your football manager save, it's a fantastic club actually. I mean, Exeter City is a very challenging save, and if you find it interesting, then I won't be surprised. So you guys, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can always look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons for their continued support of this channel. You make these kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care, have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.